Hi everybody, Tricia here. Take us through a strength and stability class. When we're thinking about strength and stability, we're thinking about, yes, strength in the body, stability in the body, working with balance, right? But also complementing that with also finding some strength and some stability in our mind, right? So we'll practice a little bit of calming breath work, right, to fill out the workout today. Right? So we're not just body, not just mind, bringing it all together. We're going to use a chair in class today. And my chair here, you can see, has a hard bottom. And it does not have arms, right? So if we have a harder bottom chair available without arms, we will use that. My chair has a back, and I'm going to use the back of my chair as a balance support. You might use that. We could be using a piece of furniture in the house, right? We can also use the wall for balance support. So you might take a look around you and just see what feels like the best option in your space to help with balance support. All right, we'll start seated. So we come to our chair. So as we come to our chair, we're going to scoot a little bit forward so that the back of the chair is behind us. Right? And when I come forward, then I want to be able to plant both my feet firmly on the ground. And I'm trying to keep my knees over my ankles. Right? When I have that tall seat, I can let the hands rest on my lap. Right here, we can turn our gaze down, or you might close your eyes completely if that's comfortable for you. And we'll just start here together, taking a few breaths. Right, breathing in through the nose, also breathing out through the nose. Seeing if maybe we can sit a little bit taller with the next inhale. And letting our shoulders relax a little bit more with the next exhale. And one more breath here. Checking back in with the class, we'll start with a couple circles with the head. So I'm making a full circle with my head. If you are not able to drop the head back, right, you'll keep the head forward in a U shape. Right. Again, anything that I'm inviting you to do today, you can do or adapt as you need to take care of yourself. Reversing the direction of the circles, please. And sometimes taking care of yourself means that you're not doing that movement at all. Right? So you are listening to you. One more circle here. We'll end with the chin at the chest and then come back to neutral with our gaze. Let's lift the heels here and roll up the toes a few times, starting to wake up the legs. You can send the knees in and out, knees in and out. Letting the feet settle back down. We're going to wiggle out through the left arm and then give it a big sweep up. You're going to exhale that hand back down to the lap, leaning over to the right. We're going to shake out the right arm and then we're going to give it a big sweep up. You're bringing that hand back down to the lap. With the hands on the lap, when we breathe in, we're going to draw the elbows back. So the chest is going to lift up a little bit. The gaze might lift up as well. And as we exhale, we're going to stretch the fingertips towards our knees, maybe even past our knees, dropping our chin to the chest, rounding the back. Inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, rounding. 2 more times. Last time here. From a rounded back, we'll come back to a neutral spine. And from our neutral spine, we're going to practice standing up from our chair. So it's a little bit of a squat. This is going to be an active practice. So I want to make sure that I feel like my chair is solid on the ground, right? So it doesn't work with a rolly chair. Again, I have my feet underneath my knees, so my feet are evenly planted on the ground. I'm going to lean forward just a little bit with my chest. I want to use my leg muscles here. I'm going to lean forward my chest so I can lift up. Or I might be able to come all the way to standing. I'm going to sit back down. All right, so it might be just a little lift, right? And then we're coming back down, right? So it could be just a small movement. If this is something that is really challenging for you, right, we could bring our chair to the wall or to our balance object, right? So that when we're standing up, right, our hands can place on the balance object, right? So you are in this cycle of movement as actively as you're able. All right, for those of us that have a lot of range of motion, right, we're going to try to stand all the way up, right, before we sit all the way back down, right, a few times. Right, so see if you can come all the way to the seat before we stand back up, right, and as I come down, right, my hips shift back. My head comes over my tailbone, right? Then I lean forward to use my leg muscles. Let me sit back down, right? So see if we could do that a few more times again. It could be a little bit. Try one more. Good job, you guys. As we come back to our seat, let the hands rest on the lap, just taking a few breaths here. Right, noticing how you feel, right? That's a pretty physical cycle of movement. So you might feel that your breath has gotten a little bit quicker. You might feel your heart beating a little bit faster. One more breath here. And then from here, we're all going to transition back up to standing. So coming all the way up out of the chair, we're going to move the chair off to the side. So I'm moving the chair off to the side. I'm going to turn it around so that the back is available to me to support with balance in the case that I need it. But you might be shifting to somewhere else in the room for that to happen. All right. So I want to just check in again with standing tall. So when I say standing tall, what does that mean? So when I'm going to do a couple of directions. So when I'm standing tall, my feet are in parallel. So that means they're facing forward in the same direction. They're a little bit like railroad tracks, right? Okay. And then the balance here is I want to have my hips over my ankles, right? I want to have my shoulders over my hips, right? And then my ears are over my shoulders. Okay? So the top of the head is moving up towards the ceiling, even while I, at the same time, am pressing my feet into the ground. I'm not using my shoulders to lift me up, right? I'm not using my head to direct the movement. Ideally, I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed, my arms relaxed. Right? And not taking for granted that standing tall is our go-to, right, standing position. If we have corrective vision, right, we wear glasses, right, often what happens is that we're looking forward to see better, right, or we're like looking back to see better, right? So these are some habits that we have in our body, like, as a result of vision, hearing loss. Does anyone turn the ear to this side, right? So we all have things that we do to increase our sensorial relationship to what's going on around us. Right, but what I'm going to keep reminding you to do in class is to come back to standing tall. So even as we do all these things in our day-to-day life, right, we want to try to keep reminding the body to come back to standing tall so that we can come back to our more aligned physical space in the body. Yeah, so we'll move here and I'll check in again throughout class with you. Here we come back to standing tall and we'll start to remember to try to stack those places in the body. All right, working with a little bit more around strengthening. Yeah, we're gonna step here our right foot forward and we're gonna take our left foot back. And our back foot is pointing out to the side and our front foot is facing forward. I have my balance object nearby, right? So I can be reaching for that if I need it. You might keep it on there the whole time. Right, here's going to be our cycle of movement. As we breathe in, we're going to bend into that front knee. The arms are going to lift up, palms towards the ceiling like a T shape. Exhaling, I'm going to press down. I'm going to lengthen the legs. A few times. Staying with it. A few more breaths, guys. All right, here's where we're going to hold for a few more breaths. So we're going to bend into that front knee. We're going to keep the arms out to the sides. Option to stretch them all the way up to the ceiling if there's space to do so, right? Could just be one. We're going to take 5 breaths, whatever variation of shape we're in. We'll breathe in 1, breathe out, breathe in 2, breathe out, breathe in 3, breathe out, breathe in 4, breathe out, breathe in 5, and breathe out. Letting the arms relax back down, reaching for your balance object if you need to. We're gonna bring both feet back together. As both feet come back together, come back to standing tall. Taking a breath in here. Taking a breath out. And bring the hands together, interlace the fingers. We're gonna make a couple circles with our wrists. Stilling the circle, see if we can change the lacing of the fingers so the opposite thumb is on top. And we're gonna circle again. Might feel a little bit awkward or unusual with the opposite lacing. Good job. Stilling the circles, we'll let the hands release. We can shake out the left hand. You can shake out the right hand. And letting that hand release, we're going to visit our second side with that active strengthening cycle of movement. So I'm going to keep now my left foot forward. And I'm going to step my right foot back. Again, I have my balance object right here. Again, hands start back foot, toes are pointing out to the side, front toes are facing forward. So we breathe in, we're going to bend into the front knee, arms will lift again like a T shape, palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, lengthening, pressing down. Yeah, a few times. So we can bend to your elbows. Or we might be moving more deeply into the knee, less deeply into the knee, right? So you're moving like you. Good job, you guys, staying with it. The next time that we bend into that front knee, we're going to hold for a few breaths. We can keep our arms out to the sides like airplane wings, or we have the option to stretch them all the way up towards the ceiling, shaping like you. We're here for 5 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3, breathing in, breathing out 4, breathing in, breathing out 5. Letting the arms relax back down, reaching for your balance object if you need it. We're going to step the feet back together. As the feet come back together, we're going to stand tall, taking a breath in here and a breath out. Good job. Take the feet a little bit wider than the hips, but not so wide that we don't feel like we can really feel stable across the surface of each foot. And then when we have this wider stance, we're going to send the hips side to side. Right, so you might have a little bit of a side to side. You might have a bigger side to side. Put your head into it. You can have a little rhythm. Yeah, and then coming back through center, we're going to move forward and back. Right, so we're going to shift the hips forward and shift the hips back. Right, forward and back. Coming back to center with that movement. And we're going to see if we can do all together, right? So we'll send the hips to the side. Hips are going to come forward. Hips to the side. Hips back, right? Hips to the side. Hips forward. Hips to the side. Hips back, right? You might keep it in a 4-point movement, or you might feel like you can kind of start to smooth it out so it feels a little more like a circle. Right, and it's bringing in a lot to the front body, the side body, the back body. So you might notice areas as we circle here that have more sensation. And then just noticing. All right, the next time that our hips come forward, we're going to send it in the opposite direction. Right, so the hips go back to that same side. Back, side, forward, side. Back, side, forward, right? Keeping it in a 4-point movement, or trying to smooth it out a little bit more like a circle. Again, just kind of noticing where you feel sensations. Now with this direction of movement, it might be different than the other side. We have one more round here. We'll end from the side to shift back to neutral. As we come back to neutral, right? My hips are now in alignment, just taking a moment to feel. You might still kind of feel like you're moving a lot, right? That's a big opener. All right, we're going to play a little bit with turning here, turning out to the side, right? So when we turn to the side with flat feet, right, there's not as much available room to move in to that space. Right, and so we're going to practice here picking up the toes and turning them out and bringing them back to center. Right, so we can keep the wider feet, right? You can bring the feet in closer if that feels more comfortable for you, maybe someplace a little bit in between. So we're going to start with the right leg. So I'm going to pick up my right toes and I'm going to turn my right toes out. I'm going to turn the toes to the side. I'm going to look at those toes. All right, let me come with it. All right, and then I'm going to pick the toes up. I'm going to bring it back to center. Foot's going to come down. Do the same thing, left side, toes pick up. Toes turn to the side. Turn the body with the toes. Let the foot connect. Pick up the toes. Bring it back to center. Foot comes down. Yep, there we go. A few times. Toes up. Toes to the side. Let the chest follow the toes. We're going to do it again. Other side. A couple more times. All right. So let's see if we can build it up a little bit here. All right. So we are seeing how when we turn our toes out, our whole body is following the toes, right? So we're trying to really work in harmony with the whole body, top of the head down to the toes. We're going to add in a little scoop and reach, right? If that feels like too much, let it go, right? but that we'll see how it feels, right? So picking up the right toes, we're going to turn the right toes up. My chest follows my foot. Foot connects. I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to do a scoop and reach. I'm going to come down, pick up the heel. The toes, keep the heel down. Toes come forward, other side. Toes pick up, toes turn out, bending the knees, scoop and reach. Coming back down, turn the toes forward. A few times like that. Toes up, turn out, bend the knee, scoop, reach. Coming back, toes pick up, come forward. Other side. Yep, staying with it a few more times. Here we go, last side. Good job, you guys. Bringing the toes back to center. We're going to bring the feet all the way back underneath us, standing tall. All right, I'm going to do this one from this side. So we're standing tall. We're going to inhale our arms up overhead. So we're going to scoop the arms overhead. Exhaling, press down. This is a side view. Same thing. Press down. We're going to change it up this time. We're still going to scoop up with the inhale. Exhale, we're going to press down. But as we press down, we're going to bring the hands to the lower back. I'm going to lift up the chest. So I'm feeling a soft stretch through the front of my hips. Gaze can turn up towards the ceiling if it feels okay for you. We have 3 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Good job. Bring the head back to neutral. Let the arms go. Come to your balance object, which might be the wall. We're going to bring the hands to our balance object or to the wall. We're going to step 1 foot back. As we step that foot back, it's stepping far enough back that my heel is not touching the floor. All right, we're weighting that heel to the floor. You're going to feel a nice stretch through the back of that leg. We're taking a few breaths here. Notice if you start to hold your breath. See if you catch yourself holding your breath. Oh, I'm holding my breath. Come back to breath in and your breath out. Maybe you notice when you start to hold your breath. If you're focusing, like just noticing our habits. Good job. End of your exhale, you're going to bring that back foot forward. Right, and then we're going to switch sides. So other foot steps back. Same thing. We're stepping far enough back so my heel can be up off the ground. Right, that weight of the heel towards the ground is what's stretching out the back of that leg. Yeah, taking just a few more breaths here. Good job. End of your exhale. Again, we're going to bring the feet back together as the feet come back together. That's right. We're going to stand tall. All right. As you stand tall, we're going to work first with the left shoulder. So I'm just going to make some circles with my left shoulder. Now let that arm come down. Do the same thing with the right side. Some circles. Letting that arm come down. We're going to switch sides, circling forward now with the right side, left side, pardon. Letting that arm relax down, some forward circles with the right side. Letting that arm relax down. We're going to lead with the left thumb. We're going to bring the left hand up. My wrist is in line with shoulder. My thumb is towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to bring that arm across the chest. Right, so I'm not dropping my shoulder up. I'm keeping it down. The arm's coming across the chest. Right, I can use my opposite arm to draw it in a little bit more. I'm going to look over that left shoulder. We're going to take 5 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Inhaling the head back through center. We're going to let the arms come down. Second side, leading with the right thumb. We draw the hand up. Then we bring the arm across the body. Right? We might use our other arm to draw it closer. Looking over our right shoulder. Again, 5 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 4. Breathing in. Breathing out 5. Bringing the head back to center, arms come down. Give a little shake out here to the left arm. And then we're going to have a big sweep. We're going to sweep that left arm up, and then we're going to tilt all the way over to the right. Yeah, we have one more breath here. Inhaling, use your belly strength. We're going to come back to center. Right arm's going to come down. We're going to lean over to the other side. Sorry, this is the right arm. My arms. I'm getting confused with my right and my left. I'm sorry. Right arm, leaning to the right. Wiggling out the right arm. We're going to sweep that arm up and over to the left. Right, again, you might have a bend to your elbow. You might have a longer arm. Right, taking a few breaths, feeling the side body. Keep your belly engaged. Okay, when we come back to center, move from the belly button. Right arm comes down. Do that a few more times. We're going to wiggle out through the left arm. Big scoop with the left arm, tilting over to the right. We're taking a few breaths here. As we're breathing here, I feel my belly buttons moving towards my spine. So I'm trying to stay strong and anchor through my center. Your strength to come back up to top, letting your arm release. Other side, shaking out the right arm. And big sweep up, tilting over to the left. Same thing, thinking about engaging in your middle part. Okay, next time you breathe in, use that belly strength to come back up. Releasing the right arm one more time each side. We're going to shake out through that left arm. Then we're going to sweep it up and over. Good job. We got one more breath here. As your inhale comes, use that belly strength. Come back up. Release that arm down. Last side, shaking out through the right arm. We'll sweep up, tilting over to the left. And here's your last breath here. Use that belly strength. We're going to inhale back up through center. Nice job. Exhaling that arm down. Let the neck here move side to side. So ear to shoulder. Inhale, center, 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 ear to shoulder. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. Option to bring that hand over the top of the head. So the side that the ear is moving towards the shoulder, that arm could be over your head. We'll take 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Letting the hand go. We'll inhale the head back to center. Other side. Side that the head's tilting to. If you want extra, that hand might come over the top of the head a little bit deeper stretch to the neck if you choose. Again, 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Letting the hand go, head comes back to center. We're going to inhale here, shoulders straight up towards the ears. Exhale out of the mouth and drop them. Again, like that. Last time, big one. Good job. We're going to transition back down onto our chair. I'm going to turn my chair forward here. And as we come back down to our seat, again, we're going to have that strong seat where our back is away from the back of the chair. So we're still using our belly and our back strength to sit tall. We're going to pick up here our left thigh. Right? And we see if we can bring our hands underneath that thigh. We're going to make some big circles with our ankle. Some big circles in the other direction too. And we're going to point and flex that foot a few times. Now, as we flex the foot, we're going to lengthen the leg and then bend the knee. All right, so we're going to lengthen the leg and bend the knee. And here we're really just thinking about moving the knee. So you're lengthening that leg as much as it feels okay for you. One more breath here. All right, so leg comes back down. We're going to see if you can sit a little bit taller. I'm going to lengthen out the leg as much as I'm able. I'm going to hold the leg lifted for a few breaths. If there's room, I can take my arms away from the leg. I might straighten it a little bit more. We're going to just do it for 3. Breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Good job. Bring that foot back down to the ground. Yeah, we're going to move to our second side. So lifting up the right thigh, we're going to hold on behind that thigh. Right, we're going to circle out to the ankle. I'm going to circle the other way. We're going to point and flex that foot a few times. And then flexing that foot, keeping the flex. Here's where we work with the knee. So we're going to lengthen the leg and then bend it again a few times. So it could be a little bit, could be more, but thinking really just about moving the knee here. All right, here's where we're going to build it up. Okay, so we're going to see if we can keep that leg lifted. See, maybe the hands can come away from the leg. We might be able to extend it a little bit, maybe a lot. Trying to sit tall. We have 3 breaths, breathing in, breathing out 1, breathing in, breathing out 2, breathing in, breathing out 3. Good job. Bringing the foot back to the ground. As the foot comes back to the ground, we're going to step the feet wide. Right, so doing a nice stretch here now through the hips. And hands are going to come to the tops of the thighs, and we're going to lean the chest just a little bit more forward. So just double checking that you're feeling stable with your seat on the chair. We're going to have a little twist here, right? So we're going to breathe in just like the center. Exhaling, I'm going to roll my left shoulder towards the ground. Inhaling, center. Roll my other shoulder to the ground. Yep, a few times, moving like you. It might be a little bit, might be a big bit. So you're going to see what fits with your body today. One more time each side. As we come back through center, we're going to stack the head back towards the top of the ceiling. And then we're going to bring our knees back to center. With the knees back to center, we're going to pick up that left ankle and put it on top of our right thigh, still working with stretching through the hips. I might be able to, again, to send my chest a little bit more forward. We're taking a few big breaths here. One more breath cycle. Good job. As your next inhale comes, top the head comes back up towards the ceiling. We're going to change our legs. Bring my right ankle over my left thigh. Same thing. First feeling stable with my seat. Right, maybe there's room to shift my chest a little more forward. We're here for a few breaths. Right, it feels active even while we breathe here, even in still poses, right? Often in still poses, right? You feel the activity a little bit more. You're doing great, guys. We're almost done for today. Here's our last breath. Again, as the inhale comes, we're going to take the top of the head back up. We're going to bring that foot to the ground. Yeah, stretch out through the left leg. And just let the toes windshield wiper back and forth. Sorry, it's making a lot of noise with my chair. And then switching it up, bring that foot down, stretching out through the right leg. Same thing, windshield wipers, right? Toes back and forth. Good job. Stealing that leg, bringing that foot back down to the ground. Great job today, guys. Working with some strength, playing with our balance, increasing our range of mobility. We're going to finish now with our rhythmic breath, which again is our relaxing breath, right? And our relaxing breath, again, is a tool to help us transition into our relaxed nervous system. So if we're feeling stressed or anxious, right, that's a different nervous system, right? Sometimes, having problems sleeping, like that's the nervous system that's activated. So this is a breath practice that you can use as a tool to bring you back to that calm nervous system, right? To help us fall asleep when we're not able, to help quiet the mind if we're feeling stressed or anxious. So to practice that, I want us to feel like we're in a more comfortable seat. So that might mean now that we let ourselves press back. So we can use the back of the chair for support. If you prefer to transition to a softer chair or a softer place in your space, then you might do that. Right, and as we come to that comfortable sitting position, I want us to see if we can soften our eyes, turning our gaze down. Or if you're comfortable, you might close your eyes completely. We'll start breathing in together. We'll breathe out. We'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue counting to yourself into 3. Breathing out to 6 at your own pace. The end of your next measured breath, come back to your natural breath. Noticing how your natural breath feels. Noticing how your heart feels, how your body feels, how your mind feels. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale softly out of your mouth. Again, just like that. Softly opening your eyes. We'll return to our space. I want to thank everyone for joining me for class today. I hope that you're all taking good care. I look forward to seeing you together next class. Bye for today.